Ooh, Fredo.
Hey, yeah, I'm back into the barricade. What I'm doing, counting up money from this year I made. Last year was a different story, but this year I'm paid. Just do 6:30 in the club, I let it ricochet. Extreme rules ain't enough, I put him in a cage. Now it ain't nowhere to hide, you about to catch this fade. Hey, if rap was wrestling, I'm in the Hall of Fame. Playing games better acknowledge me like I'm Roman Reigns. Hey, but you can't see me though. Took a break, now the final boss back with the demon flow. The innovator, I just do the stuff that they ain't seen before. I'm like the Undertaker, a tombstone to put you where you need to go. A match against me and Dog out for showstopper. I'm in the booth with sweet chin music, I'm the showstopper. Like the Midnight Express, I'm on the road rocket. They screaming no mas, I'm old mas, dog, I'm a whole problem. You got the money in the bank, I need the whole profit.
Hola, aloha, mushy mushy, hi, hello. It is Wednesday night, so everyone knows that it is the Mad Smoke Vibes Wednesday Night Dynamite review with your boy, Loud Madman Murray. I've got, for the first time, but not the last time, one of the new co-hosts, Rudy. Peace and love. Rudy, it's good to have you with us tonight.
It's good to be here.
Thank you. I've been seeing you do your thing on NXT. You've been doing a great job on the shows I have seen you've been on, so it's going to be a pleasure to work with you tonight. Bonafide might be joining us. We don't know. You know Bonafide. She got a lot of things going on right now, so hopefully she'll be able to join us tonight. If not, we're going to give you all a bomb-ass show like we always do, and as always, put the kiddos to bed if they're not in bed already like they probably should be. Probably shouldn't be watching AEW to begin with because it is explicit rated TV mature content tonight on my show. As always, we say what we think, no filter. We just let it all go because that's the way it should always be. Get straight to the truth. Quit bullshitting around. And with that being said, you got anything you want to say? Any shout outs real quick, Rudy, before we get started?
No, I just want to say I'm happy to be here. I'm always happy to be here. I love wrestling. I enjoy AEW Dynamite. I am the host on NXT as well. So I'm across here, and I'm excited to talk about Dynamite tonight. I'm happy to be here. This is my first time.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited. I've heard great things.
So since this is your first time, I do want to ask you a couple questions before we get right into the show. As we ask everybody's always curious, where does your wrestling fandom come from? When did you start watching? Did you take any breaks? Have you been straight through, or what's up? Well, give us the download real quick.
So I started watching in 1999.
Okay.
Started watching with The Rock. Especially SmackDown. Once we started having SmackDown, and I started watching it that way.
Okay.
Now, I have taken breaks in between of wrestling. There are certain times when I have had to sacrifice because I used to go to college and work 2 jobs, and so I just didn't have the time.
Yeah.
Wrestling is a long show. I didn't have the time.
Yeah.
And there are certain times where I took a break because I didn't enjoy the be completely honest. There are certain times, like I used to be a diehard WWE fan. I stopped watching that 2 times since 1999 because I was like, I don't have time for stay-on-its, okay?
Yeah.
And then I started watching TNA in around like 2006, if I'm correct. I think it was Awesome Kong with Gail Kim that got me there because I started to really watch women's wrestling. And I saw, you know what? They can actually wrestle. I have only seen WWE and, the divas. But watching Gail Kim with Awesome Kong really opened my eyes. But then I stopped watching TNA because, again, I don't have time. I don't have time for stay-on-this, and I don't have time for storylines that don't make sense.
Yeah.
And then, I came back to WWE. I left them, actually. I left them when they had that whole Retribution thing. I was out the door. But then Triple H took charge, and I said, we got to give it a chance again. And so I went back to watching that. I started watching AEW as soon as it started.
Okay.
I like alternative stuff. And then I started watching TNA again in 2020 because I see YouTube videos, I read reports, and then everybody kept saying, oh my God, it's so amazing. It's so amazing. I'm like, well, I used to watch it. Let's see how great it is. And I have to give a shout out to Athena. I may not be rushing Ring of Honor all the time, but I make sure I go on YouTube every year and I watch her whole matches the whole entire year that they did on YouTube with the storylines because I know she's been killing it. And so that's my wrestling storyline.
Okay, absolutely. I like it. I'm pretty much a lifelong fan Pretty similar to myself. I took about a 10 to 12 year hiatus myself. I missed the entire Ruthless Aggression era. Pretty much. I came in the very end of that when CM Punk was on his way out his last year or two, so I didn't see a whole lot. I saw the Shield and some of that, but AEW, I've only been able to watch the past couple, maybe 3 years now myself. Fell in love with me instantly with AEW, with the wrestling style and everything. But people already know about my boring ass. They wanted to know about you. We know a little bit more now, and we're going to go ahead and get right into it. We get to kick off the show, everybody, with the cleaner, Kenny Omega versus Brian Cage. Now, I didn't care for this match. It's Brian Cage. But I'll tell you what, I've seen Brian Cage wrestle from Lucha Underground and other places.
Hey, what's up? What's up, you guys? I see you.
What is up, Razorback? Good to have you. Thank you for joining us once again. This was a hell of a match, though, because it's Kenny Omega. You know, he's one of the best ever. He's going to go down as one of the best ever. It's so hard to say a top five because there's so many that should be in a top five that you can't just put in there. He's one of them. Top five to top 10 for sure. By the time he's done, and it's good to see him back in the ring. They put on a hell of a match, and it was a good way to start off Dynamite. I forgot myself. On this show also, Rudy, we do 3 stars instead of 5 when we rate the show. It's called the 3 Stars of Madness. So before we get right into it, what was your overall for the show out of one out of 3? You know,
a 2.
A 2-star for you.
I'm gonna be nice.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a 2.
That's very generous. It's hard for me to give anything a 2.
I thought a 1.5, but I'm going to say, you know what? Let's round it to a 2.
Okay. I'm at a solid 1.5 myself, honestly. This wasn't the reason. Like I said, it started off hot. It started off, okay, Kenny Omega, Brian Cage. Let's go ahead and see. We get to the kind of the ending, and as usual, like we so often see in AEW, here comes Don Callis, family, yada, yada, yada. Now, this whole entire time on the match, Don Callis was on commentary.
Yes.
I'm starting to enjoy Callis on commentary, actually. He's not bad. They could definitely put him on there sometimes and a little more often, possibly, instead of, I don't know, maybe Taz sometimes is there. So we're having Shivani, man. I don't know what's up with Shivani. I love me some Tony Schiavone, but I swear to God, this past year or so in AEW, he's messing up people's names, fucking up their moves. He's just reacting weird.
He's getting like JR. Maybe he's old. He is old.
Good old JR. He's definitely not what he used to be. But Mr. FTW and I were talking about this, I think, earlier today. I don't care. No one will ever be better than JR.
Of course not. No.
He is the GOAT of all GOATs. When they call him the voice of wrestling, shouldn't be even a joke moniker. That's for real. He's the legendary voice of wrestling.
Yeah, I agree. Like, there's no one like him. When it comes to this opener, I thought it was okay. I'm not gonna lie. As soon as I saw it was Brian Cage against Kenny Omega, I said they're just feeding him Brian Cage. That was my reaction. Because, mind you, I like Brian Cage. I actually think when given the chance, he's an amazing wrestler. Like, he's a big guy, and he's very athletic. And he's fast. He can do some things in the ring. But for some reason, AEW only shows it a little bit of the time, but most of the time he loses the matches. He loses his matches. And, when I thought him and Lance Archer, first of all, Lance Archer is treated worse, but we'll get there in a second, okay? When I saw them in the Don Callis family, I'm like, okay, we're going to do something. Because, it's like a proven record here when you're in the Don Callis family. You kind of get that raise up. You get that rub. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're doing it with Kyle Fletcher now. He's the proto star. They did it with Takeshita. I love Takeshita. I loved him before Don Callis. He's a great wrestler.
Yeah.
So, they did it with Takeshita. They finally gave him a title. And they were doing it with Powerhouse Hobbs before he got injured in there. And so I was like, okay, we're getting Lance Archer. We're getting Brian Cage. This could be a tag team. Everyone else is like singles, right? So I'm like, okay, let's make a powerhouse tag team. But it's just like they're the ones to be fed when Don Callis needs a loss. Like when the family needs a loss, they're the ones that they put. I mean, Lance Archer lost during a commercial break. We'll never forget that. I was just like, mind you, I'm not even a Lance Archer fan. And I was like, oh, you got done dirty, man. And I love Roderick Strong, but I'm like, you couldn't even win. You couldn't even lose on TV, huh?
Yeah.
So I just feel like once I saw this on paper, I'm like, okay, they're giving Kenny Omega somebody to just be fed to. We know he has issues with the Don Callis family, but we're not going to give you Takeshita right away. Like, that's just not happening.
Yeah.
And so for me, knowing that, I was like, okay, he's going to win. They're going to showcase that, you know, he's still the same Kenny Omega that we know. His style might change a little bit, you know, because of his ailment. He might have had to change his style. I thought he did a really good job. You know what I mean? I mean, the injury, the ailment he had is pretty bad. And to come back from that and still be able to do the V-trigger, still be able to do that flip that he did from that
one-winged angel.
Then the one-winged angel, I was like, okay. I was like, this was the purpose of the match. Now, the aftermath of the match was, you know, with Kyle Fletcher, and then Will Ospreay came out, and though Kenny Omega and Will like enemies, but they both hate the Don Callis family. So they're fighting the Don Callis family. And they were, you know, staving them off until Takeshita came back. I'm happy to see Takeshita back. I'm really excited to see him back. I feel like he hasn't been here. I know he went like to Japan.
Mm-hmm.
I know that when they're not here, they're working somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like that's what they do.
Definitely.
And so I was like, I'm so happy to see him back. But I feel like we've seen this before. I don't know if I'm wrong, but I feel like we've seen Takeshita versus Kenny Omega. And I don't remember when. So if you guys, you know, remember, you can tell me. I don't remember when, but I'm like, I've seen this before. And now Takeshita has the title.
Twice. It's happened twice. Kenny Omega twice, and Takeshita pinned Omega twice within like a month period.
Yes, because that's when they call him the Alpha. That's when he brought him in and called him the Alpha. Okay, so I'm right in that. And so it's going to be a good match when we see it, unless we see him, because I feel like we're going to see him versus Lance Archer next.
Yeah.
He has to get a win. I don't think we're going to see him against Kyle Fletcher. They're very selective on how.
Probably not, because it's Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay still. They're doing their little.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Hello. Hi, Dating with Reptar. I see you, girl. And so, you know, it was a good opener. I would say it was a good opener, but I've seen better bangers. I feel like the past few weeks, the openers have been banger after banger after banger. And just for me personally, it wasn't a banger. It was okay.
Okay. For me, I felt like it was a banger because I expected a squash crap match. And I know Brian Cage can go, of course, Kenny Omega. But what disappointed me about this match wasn't the match itself, wasn't the way that they performed. The constant interference was annoying, but it is the end interference. It's the Don Callis, it's Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega who are enemies. What does this remind you of, people? I know this is the AEW show, but do we really have to cookie cutter WWE everything? This ain't the fucking Bloodline. This ain't, we're going to put enemies, Seth Rollins and CM Punk or CM Punk and, you know, Roman are going to team together in a cage match to fight their common enemy. That's what y'all are trying to do already with Mox and the Death Riders. Let's get the Team AEW to get rid of, you know, Team Mox, get rid of them. They're destroying our company. You're already trying that here, and that's the same feel I get with this Don Callis storyline with Kenny Omega and now Will Ospreay. And now there's probably going to be a couple more they're going to throw in there to even the odds, because you've got 4 or 5 in the Callis family.
I agree. I don't know if this is the first go-to like feud for Kenny. I feel like instead of having to fight, it's true what you said, instead of fighting to have a whole group, we could have done a one-on-one thing. You know, we could have. I feel like we really could have focused on doing a one-on-one thing and showcasing Kenny in different matches in that feud.
Yeah. Because,
you know, they have the Don Callis and he hates them. You know, they have something to go back to, but it doesn't need to be that way.
They could throw him into the TNT title picture.
Yeah.
Spice that way the fuck up. Like, whoa, okay, hold on. Kenny Omega going for the TNT. Now Christian Cage really has something to worry about. He has the Money in the Bank title anyways or whatever that he can use. I mean, you know, so that whole
contract. He has the contract. Yes,
yeah, the contract. That whole little TNT division where you've got Cage, you've got Hook, you've got just the mid-card guys. That don't mean you can't throw Kenny Omega in there to spice it up, especially he's coming back. He's coming back after the diverticulitis, after having a banger in Japan, another 5-star match after coming back from the surgery. That doesn't mean you need to throw him in there right away against the whole faction, where he's going to get beat down every single time.
Exactly, because you've already seen that from John Moxley. John Moxley, his group can do it. Sure, they're the Death Riders, but we don't need to see it with every single group.
We get it, AEW. We get it, AEW. You're full of factions. That's one of the things I particularly love about AEW. I'm a faction guy. I love factions. There's no point. You've got all these friends hanging out anyways. Why not just have groups? Doesn't mean you always have to have faction wars or always have to have 4 people, 8 people around the ring. You don't always have to fucking do that. That's where Tony needs to come on. Happy medium, brother. It's not that hard. Happy medium.
I agree. Because it's the same with and I love Takeshita, but I'm like, we could have done, I think the TNT champion is Daniel Garcia, right?
Yes.
We haven't seen him.
I know.
Maybe he just had a match with Shibata randomly. Mark Briscoe, I get it because he pinned him in the classic.
Yeah.
But no story.
Yeah.
Let's give him something. We could have given him that would have been great.
Yeah.
Especially coming back from an injury. I don't see he doesn't need to be in the world title picture. He doesn't need to go against Don Callis either. Like, they don't need to be they did it already.
Yeah.
We could have seen that. We could have seen more, like you said, more people in that mid-card division going for this. Especially Kenny Omega, I feel, would make it more prestige.
I mean, Kenny Omega was already the best bout machine and the belt collector guy. Why not bring him back mid-card? He wins the TNT title. Then he surprises Takeshita and attacks Takeshita when the Callis family in it. Now, you've already done some shit. He's in the TNT division for a couple months. He's being used to being bad. Callis family's terrorizing somebody else. We've forgotten about that. We know eventually Omega will come back and get him. That boom, he jumps on Takeshita, causes Takeshita to lose one of his 2 titles or something, because Takeshita right now has 2 titles as well. It's not that hard to write. I don't know what they're doing. They're going somewhere, but
they're going somewhere. In this one, I don't know where. I like the Don Callis storylines once in a while.
Yeah.
It's not like I said, sometimes it's the prototype, Kyle Fletcher, they build him well. I gotta give him credit for that one. They did a good job with him, and they're still doing a good job with him. You know what I mean? But then we have the same thing. It's okay to get things addressed.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
With that, we segue right into the New York Minute with Chris Jericho. I love this little segment that he's been doing with the New York Minute. All right, Chris Jericho is another one. It's just fantastic. Still going at his age, still able to reinvent himself every few months and be entertaining with it. This learning tree, it's there. I don't think it's going to get any more popular. It's just going to go downhill from here. But he still has enough momentum that he can ride it for another month or 2. Definitely with this learning tree thing, and especially adding this New York Minute, the innuendos they threw out there, and they announced that the learning tree will be teaming with the Death Riders against Cope and FTR. And I forget who else, because it's going to be a 6-on-6. Or as the Bad Apple Brian Keith said, that's 12 motherfuckers.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. I feel like I should know who the other 3 are too, but I just think FTR and Adam Copeland, and then there's 3 other people going to be there too. And it's going to come to us. I know it is, because we watched the show.
Since it's the Death Riders and the team, and it's probably going to be Cassidy, Briscoe, or somebody like,
yeah.
Some people we've been seeing already feuding with the Death Riders and all of that. Maybe even Danny Garcia. I don't have a clue. But
I don't remember. Like, I was watching the New York Minute, and I do like that Brian Keith is in it. I think he's hilarious. And he only has like one-liners. Only has one-liners. And then Big Bill, I liked him when he came back to TNA, and I liked his transition here to AEW. I think he has been doing a lot better. Like, he's really been building himself up. And being with Chris Jericho as a veteran, I think it's always a good rub anyway. And he's going to teach them a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah. Now, Chris Jericho did this because he was getting stale, so he had to change it up a little bit, and he did the learning tree, and I'm okay with it. But I do agree with you that eventually it is gonna go downhill. I don't know why they're fighting Adam Copeland and FTR. They had like one conversation, and Jericho was like, "I know you, you know me," and then they started insulting each other, and now it's a feud. I'm happy they connected it, because they've also been feuding with John Moxley, but I didn't want a 12 tag. I didn't want that. I wanted things to connect and make sense. but I didn't want a whole bunch of men. No offense, a whole bunch of them in there. That's gonna be very chaotic. Very hard to keep track of where everyone's gonna be in that time. 6 over here, 6 over there. But you know what? They wanted to do it. They love these little multi-man matches. Hopefully, it'll be more than 12 minutes.
Yeah. Hopefully, it's not a main event. Because if it's the main event, it's 12 minutes.
I hope not.
Get why they do that.
I feel like they put it together in the last minute. That's what it feels like to me. We had to do something for Collision because it's gonna be maximum carnage. We did good with Dynamite. Let's put it together really fast here, and that's what they did. But that's the only match I can think of that's gonna be there. I'm pretty sure there's other matches, but it's just not as promoted as this one.
Right, definitely.
You know what I mean?
I still feel they dropped the ball on Collision bad. Collision to me almost feels like a Rampage that's no longer exists. But I know it's another 2-hour show. It's like a Raw and a SmackDown. Yeah. I get that it is, and everyone that's on Dynamite pretty much is on Collision too. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. For me, it's just hard to watch because I work on the weekend, so I don't really get a chance to watch Collision. And then by the time I do have a chance to watch Collision, I'm catching up on every other wrestling, all the WWE stuff for Raw and NXT, all that. So it's really hard just to give. There's not enough time in the day for the wrestling that there is to consume. There's just not. Okay.
But I do agree with Collision. It's like a hit or miss sometimes. Like they tried really good to start joining the storylines, and I did enjoy it. This past Collision, it wasn't good. It just wasn't great. A lot of short matches. A few things here that shine there for me. It's like tonight. A lot of things shown, but it still wasn't a good show.
Yeah. I was struggling with tonight's show because after this, after the Kenny Omega opener, I was like, okay, this could be all right. We got Kenny starting the show. Mm-hmm. Did good. The Don Callis family thing kind of like killed the mood for me because I started getting that bloodline vibes. New York Minute was okay, and then they announced the FTR's 12-man. I'm like, I don't care to see that. So that, again, up, down, up, down. They put me on a roller coaster. They were bipolar tonight for me. Then we had another, probably the best segment of the night, okay? We had Ricochet coming out. And for a good minute and a half, 2-3 minutes maybe, actually, he got the Dominic Mysterio treatment. They booed the shit out of him, wouldn't let him speak.
Listen, I'm happy for this.
Absolutely.
I am happy for this. Ricochet, I feel like, I don't want to say he's underrated because I don't think he's underrated. But I feel like because he was not booked so well where he was before, in WWE, it's so good to see him be his full potential.
I'm glad to see him a heel. We didn't see him a heel in WWE.
Oh my God, I know.
They only pushed him as a face, and it didn't work. He needs help on the mic, which he's going to get in AEW, being able to do his own thing and talk to people that you can just let go. And he's already doing a little better. Honestly, it's his voice. He doesn't have a Mike Tyson voice, but it doesn't match the whole masculine macho vibe. And I'm not trying to talk shit about him. It's just how I personally feel. There's some people, you look at them, then you hear, and their voice doesn't match their presence. And so it's harder to get over for you. At least for me, it is. So it's hard to me to take Ricochet seriously, especially now he's added the shit that he does. It's like, okay, but also that works. He knows he's got a lower tone voice or a higher pitched voice. I mean, so why not throw that in there? It's rubbing off on me. I like it. I like the heel persona. He's definitely not underrated. Everybody knows what he can do in the ring.
Yeah.
What I loved about this segment was when he did begin to first start talking, we have Swerve music hit. And from behind, Prince Nana just cracks the shit out of him with the chair and then starts swerving while he's driving, hitting that swerve dance. I'm like, oh man, that's just priceless. We got Swerve slow walking down to the ring. Ricochet just getting the hell out of there. Like it's running out, literally out of the arena. Swerve slow walking like a horror movie villain. The whole like Michael Myers somehow, he's here. You're running and falling. You get up the stairs and somehow he's still right there, but walking the slope. That's kind of how it felt to me, and I was all for that. I'm a big 80s cheesy, campy horror movie fan guy, so that's kind of the vibes I got there. Best segment of the night for me. It was entertaining from start to finish. It was.
I couldn't agree more. I agree. I think it was the best segment of the night. And they have built Swerve to be dangerous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was mad because he got left bloodied by Ricochet. By the way, I like Ricochet's new look too. He's wearing suits. He's wearing suits now. He has the glasses. Like, he changed his look to match the new persona. Mm-hmm. He is getting that level of Dominic, which I think he deserves. I really enjoy this feud. I really like how they've been building it because, it shows the talent is there.
Yeah.
The talent is there. And Prisnana getting back at Ricochet with the chair. Like, there's just, like, no more I can say either that I'm excited because we get to see the match in 2 weeks in Atlanta. I don't think that's going to be the end of this either because it's clearly personal. And, Swerve can get personal.
Oh, yeah.
Swerve can get personal. And Ricochet started this.
Yeah.
Ricochet started it by being cocky and telling Swerve, hey, I'm going to do what you couldn't do last year. I'm going to win the Continental Classic. And then Swerve embarrassed him. And
then he called Swerve Trevor. So I mean, he kind of threw with the first shot though by saying that. Well, all right, Trevor. All right, bitch. I got you. You can see it.
It's like poking the bear. Yeah. Let's poke the bear and see if he's gonna attack. Of course, he's gonna attack you. Of course he is. And Ricochet knows that. That's why he ran. It's cold. I know it's cold. There was snow on the ground. And
see, this is a whole new side of Ricochet for me to see because I saw Ricochet as Prince Puma. That's how I was introduced to Ricochet. Prince Puma in Lucha Underground. So the mask, not a whole lot of talking, just phenomenal, athletic ability. And then he gets to WWE and okay, cool, but they don't really give him the mic very often. When they do, it's not nothing memorable, not a whole lot said, or it's kind of just cringy. And they put all these titles on him that are irrelevant. The speed title. I think he was U.S. champ for you blink and miss it.
He was Intercontinental champion. Gunther is the one who took the title from him.
That's right. Yeah. So, I mean.
But it was like one of those reigns where, oh my God, yes, he has this accolade, but it didn't really match the accolade that you wanted it to be.
No story. Right. So I'm glad to see him do things here. I don't know if he's going to be world champion. If he is, it's not going to be for a few years. If he's still there in a few years, I feel like they have a mid-card title. Huh?
I think he'll get a mid-card title before.
Oh, yeah, that hands down, no question. He might get all of them. He might have at one point be the TNT, be the International, be the Continental. He might, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised he held 2 at one time. But the heavyweight championship, I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm just saying it's going to be a while if it does. Barring any, knock on wood, injuries or unforeseen circumstances where they need someone to step in and they're like, all right, we're throwing it to you. I think it's going to be a while. We do have
It's just very congested up there right now. Like, there's just a lot of people, and that's a good thing. I think that is a good thing to have so many competitors wanting your title instead of the same people over and over and over again. But because it's so congested, it's just not enough space for anyone else to get up there right now.
We do have, I think, the best CEO Monet video package that we've had since she's been in AEW. The promo she cut in the package, this is the words she used, the showing the 4 belts, the training. It's starting to make the CEO Monet, for me, persona click a little more. I haven't liked it. I miss Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks worked. Everything about the name, the look, the gear, the attitude, the boss, all that, it worked. 100% behind Sasha Banks. Monet is the exact same thing. Like, it's the same damn gimmick.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, like the CEO thing for me, the CEO chant does not work. I hate it. I hope that gets changed. The gear's still pretty much the same. The hair is a little, she could be a little more simple with the hair. I think too much is just too much a lot of the time, but she has toned it down quite a bit.
Yeah.
She's starting to have better matches, I feel. But again, I also feel like the talent level she has to work with in AEW is not what she was used to in WWE and even in New Japan or in Japan. Because in Japan, they hit so hard. No matter if you're male or female, they hit so fucking hard. There's, as in America it'd be called stiff. That's just Japanese wrestling in Japan. That is.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I really did enjoy this video. She's busy. She's a busy lady, and she's showing that, you know, she can be in different media outlets. Yep. You know what I mean? And she can be promoting AEW. I love Sasha Banks. You know, and I am going to say I have enjoyed her matches with Chris Statlander. I think those are the best matches that I have seen since she got to AEW, in my opinion. The Kerr was good too, but I feel Chris Statlander pushes her. She pushes her to the best that she can, we haven't seen. Yeah. And it's because of what you said. The talent is different. It's different in AEW. It's not the same. Yeah. The only thing I will say about the CEO thing is that she had to come back into wrestling, but she had to come back. It's the same, but different. You know what I mean? She can't come back with boss.
I mean, I get a CEO is a boss. So it's the same thing. I think it's the forced chant. It's when they add the CEO to her music. I don't really dig her music all that much either. I can get behind it eventually. It'll grow on me. I know it will. Like Daniel Bryan's eventually did when he had the dun 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 dun. You know, it eventually grew on me. Cesaro's grew on me. I think hers could, but they got to take that fake chant shit out. I hate when they pipe in crowd noise or they pipe in chanting. I hate it. And it feels it too forced. Like, you better, like if you're watching a sitcom and you're in a studio and they got the little thing that says applause, you're told when to clap, you're told when to cheer. I don't know.
No, I understand. But like I said, I'm happy she's gotten all these titles. She got 4 titles now. It proves her point that she banked on herself. Yep. And she's successful. She is worth what WWE didn't want to pay her.
And with that said, shout out to Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks. Mercedes, I'm not sure what your true last name is, but Mercedes is her real first name. Yes. It's about that time, people. You already know what to do. You're going to give us 1.5 to 3 minutes of your time because we got some sponsors that we've got to represent. You know, they put the faith in us to get the word about them out. And we're going to go ahead and do that for them as soon as Boss Man rolls that beautiful bean footage. Y'all might be too young for that reference.
Yo, FTW gang. I know it's a little different seeing your boy Mr. FTW not behind the bright lights with his championship belt. I'm in the car. I'm in the FTW bucket, man. With that being said, I gotta let you guys know. Yes, shout out to Real. But yes, that being said, here, 5 to 7 business days a week. If you want to be a paid sponsor, all you got to do is hit me up, man. We run live 5 through 7 business days a week, and we go live on 5 different platforms, gang. 5 different platforms. You can go out there and reach, you know what I'm saying, really reach the numbers you really want to reach. Let us help you do that. And with that being said, man, I always want to give a shout out to all our sponsors. So shout out to all the paid sponsors if you are a paid sponsor already. And shout out to the ones that's going to become a sponsor in the future. And with that being said, man, it's your boy, Mr. FTW. I don't want to hold up any more of your time. So we're going to play these paid sponsors.
Down M13 through Genesee, I-75 is the home for me. Welcome to Saginaw, Saginaw, Saginaw. Down M13 through Genesee.
TV. And as you already know, that is Matt's Wrestling Collectibles right here on YouTube. Today, guys, a milestone video, a huge video, one that I was talking about a few videos back, a few new figure pickup videos back. We were talking about this right here. It is none other than episode 50 of new figure pickups. It is crazy to think that this YouTube started back up again after so many years of being away. We started back up in June of 2022. Here we are, a little over 2 years later, 50 episodes later of new figure pickups. I told you guys it was going to be a good one. It was going to be a big one. We're going to try to make sure that we don't make this.
Yes. Now, see, people, isn't that very, very painless and much more enjoyable to sit through than those damn commercials on the cable televisions where, hey, eat this, go buy this right now. You don't need it to get it.
Yeah. Buy one, get one free. Everything must go.
Every other commercial, it's a fast food joint commercial. Hey, we know you're hungry. We know you're sitting at home smoking, and go ahead and DoorDash that Burger King. That's right down the street from you. No. The FTW Family Time Wrestling Podcast, especially on Wednesday nights when you got the 420, we're just smoking, we're chilling, we're having a good time, and we're back with the AEW Dynamite review. We're about halfway through. See, you know how we do it, man. We get it done in an hour and a half tops. You know, we burn through it. We get you all the information you need to know. We give you a little laughter, make you a little angry. Well, I make you a little angry, but that's just how I am. Anyways, after that CEO video said that we had the second match of the night. I know I said halfway. We're at 2 matches. I think we only had 4.
Yeah, we didn't have that many. We had a lot of segments, though.
A lot of segments. We had a very, very, very long segment in the ring that's coming up shortly that we will get to, and I definitely have to rant about a little bit. We're getting there, though. We got the second match of the night, the Hurt Syndicate. What do? They hurt people. They hurt people. I'm sorry, I love that music. I do. I think it's a banger. I like their entrance music. I got a buddy of mine, he can't stand it. So when they come out, I look at them, they hurt people. Just to piss him off, because I said I'm toxic like that sometimes. But we got the Hurt Syndicate with that boy MVP. Yes, sir. Yeah. MVP debuting in an AEW ring. Everybody thought he was done. Wouldn't see him wrestle again. And I will tell you what, all you hating ass motherfuckers, MVP spent the first 5 to 6 minutes of this match in the ring taking an ass beating, getting back up, delivering some blows. He's able to walk around. Only had 1 knee brace on, not 2. Looking pretty good in there, MVP, man. Shout out to Vontavious Porter. It was good to see him in there.
Didn't have that in my bingo card for 2025.
What happened?
MVP back in the ring.
I know, right? Who would have thought? Who would have thought you needed that? I needed to see that.
I was like, okay, MVP. I used to remember when he used to do the,
Ballin'. Yeah.
Ballin',
and he hit that during the match.
Okay, I see. Yep. I see you. No pain tonight.
What I wasn't excited about, and other than that, was the versus Private Party and Mark Briscoe. Okay, look, you have enough stables. You got it. Why in the fuck is Briscoe just tagging with everybody? I know he's a tag team guy, but damn it, what the fuck are y'all doing? Stop with this weird ass combination, because they're all fighting the Hurt Syndicate. So again, another situation. Let's just, because we're all one common enemy. Stop, y'all. If your factions ain't big enough, I got 4 or 5 people you can be throwing. You should have threw Swerve in the Hurt Syndicate, but okay, you're not going to. Powerhouse Hobbs would probably go pretty fucking great.
Yes, that would have been so nice.
They hurt people. He breaks backs.
Too, girl.
Right? Right? Yeah. A lot of people thought that MVP was just done, never again. So for me, this was a big deal tonight, and to see him perform well was a big deal. But Private Party Briscoe,
I agree. It's weird.
At least the Hurt Syndicate pinned Zay. Yeah. Not Luther Zay Diamond. That would never happen. We all know this. But what's his name?
Isaiah Cassidy.
They call him Brother Zay. You got pinned. by, was it Benjamin?
Yeah, Sheldon Benjamin was the one to pin him.
With a super kick that I guess is his finisher. I don't know. The ending felt kind of weird to me. I don't know if somebody got hurt, if Benjamin got hurt. If
it just happened, right?
Something was just weird. It felt kind of strange to me, the hesitation in the super kick and then the way he pinned him off the super kick. Now, I know Benjamin was trained a lot by Shawn Michaels back in the day, and he has a super kick. He's used it throughout his career. It may have even been his finisher early in his career. I don't know. This just felt kind of off the way they finished it. I am glad, again, that Private Party took the pin from from Hurt Syndicate. It doesn't make sense for Private Party to be tag champs. Look, cool. You got it. You were one of the first tag teams in AEW. You got your tag team run. You've had it for a couple months now. You had it since October. For a couple months now. You defended it like 3 times maybe, but you're not doing it. I'm sorry. We're ready for people to hurt people. Somebody like a team like that to be tag team champions, and that's I think where we're heading.
Maybe that's why we're seeing it. Because to be honest, I don't know why Mark Briscoe was here either. Because I'm like, you were a part of the conglomeration, right? Private Party's not a part of the conglomeration. You know, you already had your match with Bobby Lashley. He destroyed you. And I understand AEW is, I feel like they're trying to find a place for him.
Yeah.
You know, even when he was in the Continental Classic, he was built pretty strong. He's the only one who beat Kyle Fletcher in a match.
Yeah.
Everybody else, he was the only one. So I've been keeping an eye on that. Because I'm like, you know, I can see that they want to put him somewhere. But right now they can't.
Yeah.
They can't.
Like
you know,
you
they
said,
tried
it's
to do that
congested.
with Daniel Garcia, which made sense, you know, in the context of what it was. But then, you know, he won. Daniel won that match.
Yeah.
So now it's like, where do we go from here? Put him with Private Party because they need somebody in there because they want, you know, the Hurt Business is coming. Now, I'm going to be really honest with you. I'm happy Private Party did win their match. I'm happy they have the titles because, you know, it's been 5 years and the whole entire storyline was you've done nothing in 5 years. And it's supposed to motivate them. So, you know, John Moxley broke an arm here and there, but they got motivated. So it's good to see, you know, them being rewarded for sticking around with AEW for, you know, because they were for a long time, they were the ones who ate a lot of pins. Yeah. They were the ones for a while that you knew, oh, it's Private Party, they're not going to win. So I'm happy they got their flowers because clearly they've been working for 5 years.
Right.
They're not going to beat the Hurt Business.
No.
Like, I don't see any chance unless there is an interference. And why would there be? Please don't let it be Mark Briscoe. Please don't. Okay? Let him go back to the conglomeration. Let him have his word of the week. You know, he doesn't need to be in a match to be seen. He's a great talker. Let him talk. Let him do what he does best. And then once a good storyline comes along, put him in the storyline. You can still showcase. Look at all them segments you're having.
Yeah.
You can't give me a little bit of him and that's it. You know what I mean?
The Bang Bang Gang right now are faces. I think Briscoe would go great in the Bang Bang Gang.
Yeah, he would, but they're all like hurt.
Yeah,
They're
unfortunately.
not here. You know, the only
Jay
one
is. So why not put Briscoe with Jay as a reluctant partner, you know, and then he kind of grows on him, sort of like we saw Matt Riddle and Randy Orton. We could have something like that. Yeah. Something that isn't just, oh, let's fit him here, even if he's not then fit. You know, this is a square little peg, but he's a circle, and we're gonna put him in there, even though it doesn't look right. And don't get me wrong, I'm very happy for the Hurt Business. This is all I gotta say though. How many cards have they given out now, and not a single new member? Not a single new member. Which is why I think MVP had to lace up the boots, which that doesn't make sense. If Bobby Lashley and MVP and Shelton Benjamin are handing you a business card saying join us, why the fuck wouldn't you?
And not just that, they beat the shit out of Swerve because he said no. And now you're telling me that, don't get me wrong, Ricochet got thrown out because, you know, he's a kiss ass or whatever. Got that there. But, you know, you had Leo Rush. You gave it to Max Carter. You gave it to Mercedes Moné. I mean, you were just giving out all these cards. I haven't seen a single new member, though. And they're, like I think you're right. Powerhouse Hobbs, actually, I think he would do great there.
Yes.
Especially under Bobby Lashley. And Sheldon Benjamin, you know, the years of experience. And MVP, get out of here.
MVP as your mouthpiece, MVP to teach you how to talk, to help you get you how to talk. And then you've got, I mean, come on. It's a no-brainer.
I don't know why we gave out all these cards for nothing to happen. Maybe they're like waiting for like a big event.
Yeah.
For them to be like, oh, this is our new member, you know, as a surprise.
Something.
As something. Maybe they're trying to make you forget about it, even though I didn't forget, okay? I was there.
They should know better. Wrestling fans, we're like elephants. We don't forget. Our memories, man.
I don't forget.
I may forget what I ate for breakfast this morning, but I don't forget the Montreal screw job.
Thank you.
I know that shit like the back of my hand. You know, I remember when Stone Cold gave a beer bath to McMahon and The Rock and all them in the ring.
Exactly. You know, well deserved too. But at the end of the day, I'm just like, all these cards meant nothing. You were just here giving out cards.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I do love Sheldon Benjamin, and I do love Bobby Lashley. I think they are a great group, and I think if they do win the tag team championships, I think they will. I don't see why not. You know, sorry to Private Party, you had like 3 defenses. Now they're gonna give the title to somebody else. Yeah. At least you won transitional champion. You held it for a minute. But at the end of the day, we need someone. I love them. I love the Hurt Business.
But we do. We need
a younger talent in this.
We need a definitive third and or fourth. We really do.
You know, and they can build on that. That's the whole point of all these. This is the one faction I think can actually grow. You know, because all the other factions have like 7-10 people. Yeah. Why not give them? I'm only asking for 2, maybe one more. I don't think Mercedes Moné needs to be here. You know, I think she's doing her own thing. Yeah. And she's fine. She doesn't need to be in a group. She doesn't need to be in a group setting. We tried that with her little sidekick and it didn't work. Camilla, I think her name was. I don't know, Camille. Yeah. You know, but I do feel like we need something else. We need something more spicy. You know, something. Maybe I'm wrong, but we could add a little bit of, you know, some sazon, you know, a little something in there. Something.
Razorback Country threw in, and Mankind followed him up with the milk truck shower. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So I mean,
Kurt Angle with the milk truck and all that. I mean, yeah,
like that milk. Huh? Remember Kurt Angle with the milk?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So we remember things.
Exactly.
I remember things.
All right, so here we go. This segment for me, oh man, okay, it's hard for me to call it a bad segment because it's MJF is involved in this, and everyone that knows me knows what a mark I am for MJF. Mm-hmm. Okay. The reason I don't know how I feel about it is because I really don't want to see a Jeff Jarrett MJF feud, but that's what we're gonna get. Not a feud. We're gonna get one match, hopefully one and done. Mm-hmm. But we get Jeff Jarrett coming to the ring. He doesn't really get to say a whole lot before MJF's music hits, and MJF comes down, immediately interrupts him, and just starts to eviscerate Jeff Jarrett. Now, Jarrett takes it in stride and has a decent comeback with, you ain't saying nothing that everybody ain't already said before. Mm-hmm. Saying the same old tired shit. However, Jeff visibly did stumble and was struggling to
remember
as much of a dick as MJF, like to hit him back with something that was more than just, I'm rubber, you're glue. You know, it felt like that he was trying to be too PG with it. And I was like, man, Jeff, you're killing me. So it killed the vibe of the promo. However, he got a little bit of it back when he, for the first time, at least in a long time, we hear someone mention MJF's, you know, wife, girlfriend, whatever. But not just that, we hear something about MJF's mom and dad, which for me, this is a first. Because anything about MJF is mysterious. You try to find out anything for real about this guy, and you don't fucking know what's true and what's kayfabe, which is one of the reasons I love him so much and think he is so great in this.
Yeah.
professional wrestling sports entertainment spectrum, because it's just, you don't know. He's the only one like this.
Yes.
Okay? You can look up any other professional wrestler, independent, anybody, and you're going to find some legit stuff on them. You look up MJF, you'll find some legit football from high school stuff. So you know, pretty much he did grow up in, Plainview, Long Island. You find out that. But as far as parents and backgrounds and all, no, good luck. Good fucking luck.
With this segment, I don't want to say I hated it, but I just feel like you don't have to get personal to be in a feud. This didn't need to be personal.
Well,
I know MJF makes everything personal.
That was going to be my next point, though.
Okay,
That was going to be my next point. I think the reason why MJF gets accused of cheap heat a lot, and in his defense and in most wrestlers' defense, is cheap heat is used so often because it works. It's the easiest way to get a dead crowd or a crowd that's not really paying attention to actually react. So I'm a fan of cheap heat. However, we've heard everything from MJF. Like, we know he just no filter. So what can he say that's taboo enough? Other than mentioning Chris Benoit, what can he do?
Owen Hart.
Well, I know your best friend was Owen. Owen's dead, by the way. Now, that hurt me because I'm an Owen fan. I'm an Owen guy, but I know this is MJF, and I understand he had to go there. They were close.
Yeah.
Since everybody's already said everything there is to say to Jeff Jarrett, no one really goes there.
Yeah.
So MJF had to go there.
See, that's not the part that bothered me.
You're talking about the wife part.
I'm talking about the whole wife, and not the wife. I don't care about his wife. I don't care about his family. No offense. I don't know them.
Yeah.
This is what it got personal very fast for nothing. Right? We just went there.
Right.
There needed to be a breath in between that.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't like the promo. Because he just out of the blue, because MJF is a jerk, right? But imagine this. Instead of starting talking crap about his family and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Jeff Jarrett is like, you know what? You're just upset at me because you want to use me and I'm not letting you use me. He didn't have to say anything personal. MJF could have said that line and it still would have had the same impact.
Right.
Without him putting it then it would have been personal. It just got personal for no reason.
Okay.
That's what bothered me.
Okay.
We went from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds.
Okay.
Why? Why we do that? Like I Jeff Jarrett is like, oh, he could have even been like, you're just trying to get shine from me because I'm retiring and you are lazy and you want to use that shine that I get to get to the title because you lazy. And then MJF could have said everything he said and made it personal. And then Jeff could have had the jibes if you wanted to do the jibes. You know what I mean? I didn't mind him saying that. We say, things that as long as the person is okay with it, go ahead, you can talk about it. You know how it's gonna hurt us because we feel, I know what happened to Owen Hart. I saw it. Many people saw it. So of course we're gonna feel a certain type of way. He was an amazing wrestler and we lost him way too young.
Way.
So of course we're gonna feel it. But I didn't need for you to get to 100 when nothing happened. That's just me. That's just my opinion. We were talking for 2 seconds, and then we just went to, oh, your mama's a hoe, and your daddy is this, and your girlfriend's a
literally, and people literally, mama's like, she's not exaggerating by saying, oh, mama's a hoe. She's not throwing in there. What Jarrett informs us is that she is a call girl. His mother was a call girl, and his father is a sketchy lawyer.
It's a sketchy lawyer, Julio, but. We didn't need that right now. We just got here. We just got here last week. And now we're over here talking about people mamas, talking about dead people. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I'm wrong, but we didn't even get, that's like speed.
You're not wrong.
Pedaling and speeding off a cliff.
That's the beautiful thing about wrestling and wrestling fans. Like, I like where they took it and how they took it. I felt it was necessary to speed this feud along to give it the heat that it needs because it's going to be a one and done so they can move on forward from this. I get the concept of it. I just felt it was awkward for Jeff. And then because Jeff responding, MJF hit him hard first.
Yeah.
Like, pretty much drew first blood. And Jeff was like, well, shit, he got raunchy. He talked about my wife and, his ball. He's going to fuck my wife just like Kurt Angle did, supposedly. He insinuated by saying a gold medalist, So, okay, he went there. Now I've got to. And it felt like Jeff wasn't comfortable at first. But by the end of his segment of coming back with it, when he brought up his mom, MJF's mom and dad, I felt, okay, he got his groove. He finally, okay, I have to go there because of what MJF said.
Yeah.
So
now I do want to say I like the ending with what's her name? The Karen.
Karen Jarrett.
With her coming out, trying to separate, and then MJF using her as a shield. That chef's kiss.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
Not just using her as a shield, pushed her as he left so that she took a front bump.
Exactly. So, I thought, there we go. Maybe you're right. Maybe they do have to rush this feud. The small times we've seen Jeff Jarrett on screen, I feel it's been a hit. Like, that's why people have been a bit more behind him. I'm not a fan, but I enjoyed him. I liked him with the Owen Hart tournament. I thought he played his role very well. When he first came in and he was with Sanjay Dutt and he was with Lito, they were fine. It was fine. And now we're getting here, and it's just not as smooth. It's not as smooth as some of the other things have been.
I'm okay, I guess, to see it once. The matches I have seen Jeff in, man's almost 60 years old, if not 60, and is in phenomenal shape, phenomenal ring shape, can still go. Like, wow. So he's very, very impressive, and he makes older guys like me like, yeah, I can still wrestle at 60 if I want to. Cool. I'll just be like Jeff Jarrett. The dude's jacked. And, so, I mean, it'll be a good match because it's Jeff Jarrett's 30-year veteran, and MJF is MJF. I just want to get it and get it over with. We did the Adam Cole thing like MJF said, and thankfully we got done with that. We put
I prefer to see this than the Adam Cole thing. And I like Adam Cole.
I do too, but they stretched that way too long, and we lost kind of interest in it by the time they finally did it, and it was just shit the way they did it. Anyways,
it was so convoluted
it like that. Made no sense.
For a different time because that was something else. Yeah. But that I'll give AEW. They sure know how to complicate something simple.
Yeah. So after the kind of lackluster Hurt Syndicate match, even though Hurt Syndicate did win, I was happy to see MVP out there. I was already starting to lose some hope in the show. The MJF, Jeff Jarrett, another one of those highs and lows. I was high when MJF started talking. Like, ooh, he's roasting him. Jarrett just needs to put the mic down and smile and walk out the ring. We need to end this segment. It's done. And then okay, Jeff, okay. And then MJF, and then he gets beat up. And then the Karen Jarrett, okay, too much. I'm bipolar as it is. I don't need to be I had to feel like I've had to fucking take a break and get some water and fan myself after that. Not in a good way. It's like, Jesus, what are you doing to me? You're giving me a fucking stroke. Good Lord. We get to our third match of the night, and it's another match that I don't care. Yeah, it's Christian Cage. Awesome. I like Christian Cage.
Yeah, I like him too.
Versus Hook.
We've
already seen this. Can we please get done with this? And it wasn't a bad match. Hook has gotten so much better because he's actually wrestling now, as in he could do moves himself, but now he's actually finally taking bumps. He's getting beaten up like he's actually a 185-pound guy and not this 300-pound guy that's invulnerable like they kind of tried to bill him at first. Now, okay. I want to see more of this Hook, but I don't need to see you and Cage and you and Nick Wayne and you and whoever. And I don't need to see you in the same 4 fucking people for the next 2 years. Please stop. Let's see you in some normal, regular storylines, or even just some, you don't have to have a storyline. Hey, I'm a Hook. I'm going to rack up some wins. I'm going through every division, a random person every week. I'm going to kick that ass. And then have him just wrestle somebody every week. We don't need anything other than that. Let's just fucking build him or do it that way. I don't got a whole lot to say about this match. It wasn't that great. The Hook did win by disqualification, by DQ. And the only thing good about this for me was the very end. We had the return of Samoa Joe coming down there to help out Hook before the patriarchy could beat him up. What do you guys say about this one? Because I pretty much already said all I got to say about it.
For me, I was wondering what took so long. Because AEW, they like to sometimes do long-form storytelling. But if you like Mariah May, you talk crap and then somebody goes and defend, and then you have to defend the title the very next week, right?
Yeah.
And so for this one, I have been wondering, because I'm like, why is it taking forever for us to get this match? Like, we know he hurt Taz. Then they broke his arm. Then he left. Then he came back. Then he fought Nick Wayne. We were just, you see what I mean? And I was just like, we getting really long-winded here.
Yeah.
And then once I saw Samoa Joe come back, I said, we were just waiting for him to come back. That's why we've been extending this feud forever, because Samoa Joe had to go to film.
Yep. Twisted Metal.
Thank you, Twisted Metal. And so I was like, why are we taking forever? I like the story because this is the first time Christian Cage tried to force someone into his family. Usually, he goes to people whose parents are already dead, and he brings them in. He tried to kill Taz so that he can bring Hook in. Very new, very fresh, very diabolical. Loved it.
Okay.
But getting here took a little longer than it should have. The match was okay for what it was. We knew the patriarchy was going to get involved because they always get involved, But all I have to say is I'm glad Hook has friends. Because let me tell you something. Everybody says they're in a faction, but when the good guys get beat up and somebody beats them with a chair, breaks their arm, tries to choke them to death or something, nobody comes out to help them.
Yeah.
They only come out once the injury has occurred. That's not a real friend. So at least they came out before they could kill Hook. I'll give them that one.
Yeah.
But before Samoa Joe left, him and Shibata and Hook were already getting together. Samoa Joe wanted to take Hook under his wing, which I don't.
Shibata did come out too. I forgot that. I forgot to mention that. I didn't see when he came out. He must have came out and got decked immediately because I just saw him in the ring getting beat down. Like, oh shit, Shibata's out there. I didn't.
Yeah. No, he came out and he got taken out by Christian Cage on the outside. He got taken out. And so, this is what we were doing. We put stuff on hold and now we're doing it again.
Yeah.
And I don't mind Samoa Joe. I think Samoa Joe is going to be a great mentor to Hook. I think so. And I don't mind Shibata either. He's a great wrestler as well. You know what I mean? It's just sometimes it's very long-winded. We just keep it going and going and going. And now we're going to go again. But this time with Samoa Joe. You know what I mean? And I love Samoa Joe. I hope he destroys the whole patriarchy and we are done with it in a night. But it just doesn't feel like that's what's going to happen. It really doesn't. It feels like, okay, now we have 3 people versus 3 people. We still have Mother Wayne on the outside. There ain't no lady on this side. So she's going to get involved as well. But it is what it is. In that sense, with that match, it is what it is. Okay? Because I'm going to still watch it for Samoa Joe. I will watch for Samoa Joe. But I just feel like we could get, sometimes I feel like I've said it a lot. There's nothing wrong with having a breath.
Yeah.
Between, something fresh. But, we're just repeating this one. This one's on repetition.
Definitely. I'm not looking forward. I hope they do this, whatever tag team, whatever the hell they're going to do, get it done with and over with.
Yeah, what's so sad? You have the patriarchy. You have that Christian Cage is great. He tried. Mm-hmm. He is trying his hardest to make this storyline be great.
It's just not hitting with me.
It's just certain things are weighing it down. And we can't, the thing about AEW is they like to wait. The same thing happened with Toni Storm. It took forever to get her back, right? And it's like we're waiting and we're waiting and we're waiting. We don't want to wait. Yeah. Give us something else. Tell 2 stories tell 3 stories at once. You know what I mean?
There's not enough substance to what they are giving us. And when they are giving us, they're only giving, when they do give us substance, it's like you said, 2 or 3 things, or not even 3 things, like 2 stories and then a bunch of small little, what the fuck are we watching type segment stories. They definitely need to get that in check because it's getting rough. There are days when it's really rough to watch. When WWE is rough to watch, normally they're able to correct that within a show or two because they've got 50 plus years of experience. When AEW is rough to watch, it can be rough for months. And then they'll reset at they'll have a fantastic pay-per-view. You're like, okay, and it'll get your hope back up. Then you'll tune into Dynamite and be like, what the fuck, man? You just had a banger pay-per-view. Come on.
Exactly.
But we got Mariah May on commentary for the next match, which is the first ever women's casino gauntlet match. This
It
is
was
where
what
the
it was
night,
in this too.
this is where the night just continued to be shit for me because I was excited for this, knowing that we don't have a whole lot of women's talent. Not trying to throw any shade. They're talented, but again, we're used to a certain standard. So I'll say there's not enough ladies in the women's division of AEW that have that standard that we're used to now by this point in time, by 2025, to really have a banger gauntlet, unless you bring some people in from Japan or from TNA.
Or from
Only one
Honor.
person came in this match, and you know how we do it on this show when we got the casino gauntlet. I'm just going to read it out to y'all, the order that the people came in. We had Mariah May commentary, like I said, looking as gorgeous as always. Shout out to Mariah May. We had Chris Statlander and Jamie Hayter start the match with a great two to start them. I was like, okay, here we go. Good. I'm looking forward to this. Here we go. And they don't disappoint. It's Jamie Hayter and it's Chris Statlander, two of the better women in the division, hands down. Probably why they had them start it, to start off hot to get people, all right, here we go. Here we go. Gauntlet. Probably about 3.5 minutes in, we get the next entrant, which is going to be Megan Bain, who killed it for me because not that she didn't do fantastic. She did fine. I have no problem with what she did in the ring. I don't know who the fuck she is. Even though they kind of said, oh, yeah, she wrestled for AEW a few years back on Dark. Who the fuck watches Dark? Nobody watched Dark. That's why you stopped doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's house shows that you were trying to be un-WWE-like, so you still did the house shows, but we're going to go ahead and film these and put them on YouTube.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Nobody really, you had a few thousand people watch, okay? That's why you don't do it anymore. So that tells us absolutely jack shit. The fans will tell me everything, and there was no pop. People did not know who this woman was. Even though Mariah May, flowers to her, she tried to let us know, like, oh, what is she doing here? She shouldn't be able to be here. And acting scared and intimidated, like, oh, God, I know who that is. She wrestles in Japan. She shouldn't be here. Oh, no. Look, she don't even have a Tron. They don't even have graphics for her. She shouldn't be allowed to wrestle. She has no graphics, Trying to explain, y'all may not know who she is, but she's dangerous. Again, props, flowers to Mariah for that. She did better than the commentators who were supposed to be doing that did. I'll say that. Megan's a big woman. She came in and she was bigger than Chris Statlander. Taller, little more stout.
It took her forever to get to the ring, though. She took her time. She was like slow motion.
I think that she really believed people knew who she was. So she was trying to yeah, y'all are welcome. I'm here. Yeah, it's me. I'm finally here. And people are like, yeah.
We don't know you.
It's you. Cool. I'm going to go get some nachos. Yeah, I mean, at this. So I was like, oh, okay. But cool. For me, new blood. I don't know her. She's great shape. She's intimidating. We're supposed to know who she is, so maybe she was out in injury and she's come back. Cool, this can be good. Okay. Match is still good at this point. We got Megan throwing Statlander around, beating up on Hayter, throwing Hayter around. Then we get Julia Hart.
And she distracts Jamie Hayter. That's all about her and Jamie Hayter. And I'm just like, girl, let me tell you, and then she tried to miss Jamie Hayter. Like, everything in that match, as soon as Julia got in there, Hayter was that was her person.
And I think it was designed that way, but here's my issue with that. Because obviously people know Hayter's a former world champion. Hayter is always going to be in the title picture if she's wrestling. So, if you want Stat to be in there to look believable or somebody else to be believable, they're going to win. take Jamie Hayter out of the match. Don't injure her and have the whole stretcher thing. We see that too often. Why not have someone that just continuously brawls with her outside? I liked the concept. And if they would have executed the concept, it would have been great. Here's my problem and what I've been saying about Julia Hart forever. Gorgeous woman.
She's just not great.
She just can't wrestle very well at all. At all. And this show. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
She took a suplex on the outside. Yay. Everyone should and can do that. Okay. That's nothing super special. If she would have given a perfect suplex on the outside, okay, cool. There you go, Julia. Taking one ain't shit. Okay, it hurts. I'm not saying it don't hurt. It hurts like a motherfucker, but any greenhorn can do that. Okay, and her strike sucked. The move because they focused. What's up, MTG? Because they focused on her and Jamie so much on these camera cuts, you saw all this just shit work between both of them. Which Jamie is better and should have made Julia look better, but Julia was so, I don't know if it was ring rust, hesitant, just didn't give a fuck. I don't know. But her demeanor throughout that really killed and threw the match off for me at that point on. We do have, after Julia Hart, we get Willow coming in. Good pop for the crowd. Kind
of course, everybody loves Willow.
Willow's good, very good in the ring. One of the better ones in the ring. So she picks the pace back up. We don't see Julia. We don't see Jamie because they're doing whatever on the ring. By this time, the camera, I think they kind of picked up, stopped showing them. And they're showing everybody else in the ring. They're not showing Julia. Then we get after Willow. Pretty quick after, maybe another couple minutes, we get Tony Storm, the rookie Tony Storm. Oh, I love it. I love the timeless gimmick. It was great. I feel like that was her best gimmick up to date. But now she's topping it with this amnesia Tony Storm. Oh, it's great to be here at AEW, and I hope I do well. And talking about the only 3-time, or like the only 2 of them, I think, but a 3-time AEW Women's Champion. I hope I do great. There's so much great talent here with Jamie Hayter, and we got Mariah May. Yeah. Oh, man. Fantastic. Tony comes in there, reinvigorates everyone. At the same time, Tony looked a little rusty to me. Not necessarily rusty. The timing was off. She did all those snapmares with the, cool, but a couple of them looked rough. Again, this is my curse. I still enjoy wrestling. People ask, why do you nitpick and stickler so much? I just am, because I myself am trying to be a better professional wrestler, be a better amateur wrestler. So I nitpick so that I know, or at least can try to know, when I'm doing something similar or that particular move, what not to do. So I'm always in analytical mode. It does not mean I'm not enjoying a match or enjoying the wrestling when I'm watching it. So I do want to clarify that for everyone watching. Like, what in the fuck? Nitpicking the little, but yeah, it was, it was what it was. All right. I've seen Tony Storm wrestle since she was in NXT and all the way through her AEW. I've seen so much better than she performed out there tonight. That's all I'm saying about her performance in this match tonight. And shortly after her, Harley Cameron came in, did absolutely really nothing, acted a little goofy.
She was there to take the pin.
And then she took the pin from Tony Storm.
With a mist in her face.
Yes, after she got sprayed by Julia Hart, who was purposed to get in the ring and do the mist.
Yeah. Now, this match for me, I was really frustrated.
Go ahead, because that's Tony Storm picks up the victory. I'm happy about that. We're going to see Tony and Mariah. Mariah's all acting happy about it. Cool. But the way it ended was shit. And it was. As soon as Julia came in, it was shit.
I'm really frustrated because they have actually better talent in this. Where is Hikaru Shida? Nyla Rose? Deonna Purrazzo?
Thunder Rosa.
Thunder Rosa. Then you had Taya Valkyrie. Like, it's not like you don't have the talent. Yes, you have some people like Harley Cameron, who's green. That's fine. But you have Megan Bain. I don't know you, girl, but you look like you could beat somebody up. And then you have Harley Cameron.
Queen Aminata dating with Rip Tar throws out there. We get Queen Aminata, who they were pushing, and then all of a sudden stopped. So I mean,
so it's just like you could even put Athena in there. I don't care. The Ring of Honor people are here all the time. all the time. Get out of here. Commander was just here last week, and he's the TV champion for Ring of Honor.
There was a backstage segment tonight. I forgot to write down that had Dustin Rhodes, who's apparently a double tag team Ring of Honor champion.
Dustin is there to get killed.
Talking
Anytime
to
he
Jeff.
comes to AEW, he's there to get his ass handed to him by somebody. Okay, so he'll be getting hurt by who was it? MJF is gonna hurt him. That's exactly what's gonna happen to that man.
Yeah,
they're gonna have a match, and he's gonna hurt him more because that's what Dusty does.
Make it personally, absolutely, yeah.
That's all he does. Yeah. But going back to this women's match, that's why I was so frustrated, because this match could have been better. Yes, you have Julia Hart, who can't wrestle to save her life. They tried, but whatever. You know, you have Harley Cameron, who's still learning. She has her character. She's a little cuckoo, but she's learning.
Yeah.
Megan Bain, we don't know. But you have Krista Anlander, Jamie Hayter, Toni Storm, Willow Nightingale. Add a few more people in there, and you could have had them almost banger. You could have done better, but you chose not to. Why? I don't know, AEW. That's on them. But I was frustrated because I know they have the talent. I've seen the talent. You know, Anna Jay couldn't be in there. I understand. What was Planet before? But yeah, all I have to say is compare it to the men's gauntlet match. And you can see how bad it was. Because at least that had some stakes. You know what I mean?
The men's was good. The men's this year was really good. It was one of the better ones I've seen.
But this,
yeah,
I was like, you just did this to be like, oh, this is the first time we're going to do this for the women. And then drop the ball. And of course, you gave it to Toni Storm. I'm not going to lie. I kind of wish that Toni hadn't won because I want to see her work her way up. Imagine. Toni's a rookie, right? She starts having banger matches and she works her way up to Mariah May. And then beats Mariah May without even knowing she even knew her. And from there, we have so many things. Mariah May can try to manipulate her again and be like, oh, you know, I can be your mentor.
Yeah.
Because you're the rookie. You know what I mean? The possibilities are endless here because the division is not where it used to be. It used to be worse.
Yeah.
It used to be worse. And so that frustrated me. I have to go in like 5 minutes. But I just wanted to say that frustrated the shit out of me because I'm like, you just chose not to do it. We could have cut that MJF and Jeff Jarrett segment short.
Yes, we should have. We probably should have, and I hate saying that about an MJF segment, but because of the awkwardness between Jarrett with some of that, they could have cut a couple of things out there. And since you got to go real quick, we're at the main event, people, so we're at the stretch. We're gonna go ahead and get there. I don't have a whole lot to say about this because I was not excited for this match. The only thing I will say is it was much better than I anticipated it would be, and it was longer than I thought because we had 12 minutes left to go when they announced the main event. By the time commercials came in and they got their walkouts, there was 8 minutes before the top of the hour when the show was supposed to go off. And I am, of course, talking about Mox versus Powerhouse Hobbs for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. The most highlightable thing in there was Hobbs biting the shit out of Jon Moxley's ear and just blood. Of course, all the Death Riders get involved throughout the match when the ref's not looking and all this crap. Gonna have your shenanigans. Powerhouse does what a big guy should do and, you know, shrugs it off and stands it and still does power moves. He doesn't have a whole lot of in his bag of tricks. Powerhouse Hobbs, I'm saying. And we do get a Jon Moxley victory, as you would assume would happen, by pretty much bully choking him out after hitting him with a couple of finishers and Hobbs kicking out. Like, what do I got to do to keep this beast down? Choke him out. Makes sense. Mox covered in blood as usual. You know, that's how he'd have it every match if he had his way. And he gets Hobbs on the canvas for 1, 2, and 3. What do you think about this? And we can wrap it up after you're done.
For me, there was a lot of talking in this match. That's for sure. It's not like you couldn't hear Moxley, but you could just see, right? I don't know if he was giving him instructions. I didn't think the match I thought it was going to be worse. I'm going to be really honest. I thought it was going to be the Death Riders just coming in like 4 minutes into the match, barely having a match, and then that's it. they actually gave this time, and I felt like they tried to keep Hobbs strong. Like, you know, that's why it took forever. Like, what's his name? Yuta hit him with the berserker knee. Didn't get him out. John kept hitting him with move after move after move after move. Couldn't keep him down. It literally took Shafir hitting him with that briefcase over the head. And then, you know, John doing another move for the 1, 2, I can't see my fingers. 3, right?
No, kick out.
Oh, no, he kicked out. My bad.
He choked him out.
He had to choke him.
She hit him with the briefcase. He went for then he hit him with the Death Rider. He still kicked out.
And then he
choked
him out.
Yep.
So I think they were trying to keep him strong. The only problem I have with this is Hobbs just got back.
Yeah.
And so we saw him go against Takeshita and lose. And then he had a squash match with 2 people. And then he did this gauntlet and won. And I just feel like I'm happy he got that opportunity. Don't get me wrong. I think Hobbs is a good talent. He should be in the Hurt Business. Mm-hmm. But we need to build him. I like Jamie Hayter. She came back. She wasn't put into the title picture. She's been having banger matches with all her enemies. And now Julia Hart, but you know, she can't carry her that well. She tried. But she hasn't gone for the title yet. She has been being built. And I've been enjoying her build. It's Jamie hits hard. Hayter hits hard. That's her whole thing. She came back. She looks amazing. And now we're building her. As we should be. You know what I mean? Some people weren't here. She left for like 1.5 years. They weren't here when she was here.
Yep.
And so now we have Hobbs, and he's just coming back. And they gave him the title. And I just felt that were more people deserving. I'm going to say it. You have Jay White that was in that match. Roderick Strong was in that match. Adam Cole. Joe, when I saw the lineup of people coming out, I was like, you know what? This is Adam Page. I was like, this is not a bad lineup. No. You know, Powerhouse Hobbs was not on my top to win. I'm not gonna lie. It just came out of the blue. And I feel like we need some more competitive matchups from John. I'm gonna say it right now. I loved his match with Darby Allin. We know that he can be a Terminator. Give him that light. He can do it. He's done it before. This is not his first rodeo. 4 times. That man has been a 4-time AEW World Champion. Why are we limiting his matches? Why are they so short? Yeah. Except for Orange Cassidy. I'm going to say that was given time.
That needed to be given time. With the story they built up for that, they definitely needed to.
But after him, it was like, okay, 5 minutes, you're done. Oh, okay, 7 minutes, you're done. Let's have an actual championship match.
Yeah.
That is quality and quantity. It can't be both.
Exactly.
You know? The Death Rider thing, I don't mind that. There can be a faction that he's a dictator. Be your dictator self. Yeah. Motivate people. If that's how you want to motivate people, I didn't mind that. It's a little bit like the Bloodline, but different in that he thinks he actually owns AEW.
It's more NWO-esque.
Yes.
As far as how their mission statement is.
Exactly.
Because, you know, the Bloodline is not saying we're taking over WWE. No, they're just saying, you know, we are WWE. We run it because, you know, we're the big money draw. He's saying that y'all don't own AEW no more. AEW is not your company.
Exactly.
That's very reminiscent of NWO, except that's the only comparison they have where they're similar. Because obviously, a lot grittier, a lot deadlier, more violent, which I love. Mm-hmm. I love the BCC. And all you did was change the name.
I love
bring
it
in
too.
Marina Shafir and change the name. You still got the same attitude.
Exactly. But I like that Wheeler Yuta is so slimy now. He was so vanilla. I'm going to say it. He was so vanilla. And then he turned. And now he's a depressed Wheeler Yuta. He's being used and manipulated. Yeah. And he doesn't. When John said Wheeler understands the sacrifices that needs to be made, I said, yes, he does. He was gonna he was gonna let them beat him up just to get Orange Cassidy out there.
Yeah.
So I like this new. I love that he's starting to get his own feuds. You know, Jay White and him are gonna go on it because he keeps costing Jay White stuff. He's the one who took Jeff Jarrett out of the match for the gauntlet. So he's starting to build that heat on his own. Mm-hmm. He's a part of the group, but now he stands on his own 2 feet.
Now
That's
you
my
remember.
feeling with that.
People aren't like, yeah, the Death Riders. You got Mox and Claudio, and you got Marina Shafir and that what's that other guy? Now people know it's Wheeler Yuta.
Exactly. I gotta go though. But
Absolutely.
I just wanted to say that.
Well, Ruby, it was good to have you with us. I'm glad you're able to join me tonight, and hopefully we're going to see you every Wednesday from now on this Dynamite Reviews. Everyone, I want to thank you for staying with us tonight. This is going to be the end of our show. We got you through like we said we would. Everyone, thank you for staying. I'm Lyle Madman Murray. We got Rudy Peace and Love, and Mr. FTW. We're out.
See ya.